Man, I love that meme.
That meme is great.
I love it. Man, I remember I sent that to you and I was like, I think I found the perfect promotional picture.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello, and welcome into episode 4.
Oh, man, already 4 episodes. Oh, my God.
4. Yes. We
All
will
right.
be talking tonight about the list.
The list, yeah. Like
Yes.
the list.
The list.
I think this is probably the most bipartisan issue that's at the U.S. political spectrum in a very, very long time.
In a very long time.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I don't know many people who disagree with the others. Like, depending on their political views, who disagree on this, like at all.
Yeah. I've not heard. I don't know if I know anybody.
I know,
regardless of political affiliation, that is not on board with releasing these files.
Yeah, and I mean, when people speak out about it, it makes people stare at them a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
And I think with, especially over the last couple of weeks, I have to give it to President Trump on doing something that finally united the country.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably, you know how much I don't like him, and I have to admit, I'm like, and he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, there is no list. Okay.
Oh man.
Yep. You just made everybody unite and say yes, there is.
Yeah, there is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what me and Josh are gonna get into. The history of the list, and man, what the hell is going on, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. How long has this been going on?
6 years?
At least 6.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was first. I know Epstein was first, like really indicted, like in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, it goes back a long time, and I think that's what we want to talk about first. Is for a lot of people, they only know like what's just happened. They don't know how the history of this. Like, this is nothing new. It just blew up.
Yeah, it has been known for almost 20 years, if not a little bit longer.
Yeah,
but just since Trump's first term.
Oh yeah,
has it hit the mainstream?
Yeah. I mean, the timeline of Epstein, like the main things, kind of dated back in 2005. I think that's where police, like in Florida, started investigating him after a family reported sexual abuse. And just so everyone's clear, how exactly that was before I was born. Make that feel old, Josh?
A little bit.
Make the viewers feel old a little bit too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
9/11 is older than you are.
Oh man. Yeah. But yeah. So 2005 is when it really kicked off. But I mean, like, let's be honest here. And even the late and early 90s, like, people looking back, it looked weird.
Yeah.
But nobody really knew what was going on. They were just like, oh, that's a guy who's a little creepy around women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was definitely something off, and people probably knew it. Nobody said anything.
Yeah. Well, like, so we had the 2005 that's where it originally started going on. But like, even in 2006, the year I was born, um, Epstein, he was arrested for soliciting like a prostitute, and the FBI launched an investigation into him, like regarding sex crimes and things like that. But and then after that investigation, like 2 years later, I think it was like '08, I think is what I saw when I was doing a deep dive on this early this morning.
June 2008, pleads guilty to state charges, sentenced to
Mhm.
18 months in jail, and was released after serving 13 months.
Yeah, and that was a plea deal, and that was super controversial, to avoid federal charges.
Yep.
So the federal government plead him out, and I think, which is kind of crazy thinking about what's going to happen little less than 20 years in the future from that time, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, I say we all, but I mean, I feel like, Josh, I feel like when I try to talk to people other than like you and a couple other people about something sort of political, it feels like I'm talking to a brick wall. So maybe no one else knows. But Epstein, if you were just now getting brought up to date with this, like with this administration, the recent election cycle in 2019, Epstein was arrested in New York on sex trafficking charges. And then he was charged on one count of sex trafficking of minors and one count of conspiracy. And that was in July. That was on July 6th, 2019.
Yeah.
And that was a Trump's administration. I just want to make that clear because I saw clips of some Trump administration or like Trump followers saying that was during Biden's. Nope.
No. Yeah, definitely Trump's first amendment.
Yeah, Trump's first term.
Yep.
And then, as we all know, August 10th, he was the same year, 2019. Epstein was found dead, awaiting his trial, and it was ruled a suicide. And that's where suicide. And that's where it all kind of kicked off, right?
Right.
Well, because the American public, specifically, has since like Kennedy, anytime somebody high end dies, like somebody really high up and like super controversial dies, we look at it and we're like, did he die suicide? Like, and it's for good reason too. And that's kind of where it all started. Some conspiracy theorists have looked into it a little bit more. And some more people have, like, I've heard a numerous ones. Like the main one I've heard is Clinton killed him. Clinton's killed him. And recently the ones I'm hearing more is Trump killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Clinton one is an old meme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just anybody associated with the Clintons die. Yeah. They mysteriously shot themselves in the back of the head twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those kind of things.
Yeah, it's just a suicide right behind the head. Yeah.
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 I've even heard Jeffrey's brother.
Oh yeah.
Come out and say that he doesn't believe that he's dead.
Yeah, Jeff's brother, who, just so our audience is clear, has been cleared of anything related to his brother. He's been doing all sorts of interviews and stuff like that, like on CNN, and I don't know if he's been on Fox, but I've mainly seen him on CNN. I mean, as of recently. But yeah, Mark Epstein is his brother. And he's went around doing interview stories saying he don't think his brother killed himself, and he's like tied connections to who he's seen Jeff hanging around with, like most powerful people in the American governments and past administrations and things like that. But yeah, Jeffrey Epstein's ties run real deep in the ruling class of America. Billionaires, pop stars, movie stars, mainly politicians. And that's where it all kind of started. But yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
and yeah, that interview that I've seen with his brother, he said it wasn't Jeffrey that was pulled out of that cell.
yeah.
It was somebody that kind of looked like him, but it was not him.
Yeah. And if that's true or not, we might not never ever know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a whole
rabbit hole.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
We might be able to touch on a little bit.
Yeah. We try to avoid most of the conspiracy theory stuff and try to just talk to you guys about the facts. But in this episode, particularly, how much is like actually being released to the public or not?
Yeah, it's all conspiracy.
Yeah. Almost everything is.
Yeah. Because we really just don't know a whole lot.
No, it's been deeply censored.
Right. We know him and is it Helene? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell.
The two of them were really bad people.
Yeah.
Who did horrible things.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah. And I know we haven't really talked about Maxwell all that much, but she was arrested alongside Jeff.
Yep.
And she did not kill herself. And she's been serving prison time. And she is currently the only living connection that we know of that has been released to Jeff's island, right?
Yep.
Now, Jeffrey Epstein's island is a whole thing. I mean, I remember when it came out, I was like watching the news and I was like, oh my God. But yeah, Jeff's island, well, he owned two, and they were in the U.S. Virgin Islands in St. James and Little St. James and Great St. James. And like that's their names, and they weren't exactly like super small islands either.
No.
And I mean, I don't know, it's so crazy to me that people own islands. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because I know it's a thing, but like, oh my God. But
I wish
like we want to pull up a pic of Jeff's island. I think I can find one.
Yeah, I'm looking for one that I can. Google Maps has changed, and I don't know how to put on satellite imaging.
I think I have one. I can pull it up. I mean, I didn't. This is just here. But so this was, from what I understand, his main island was this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this is not like a small island either, because Jeffrey Epstein was super rich. And you can see the structures on the island, things like that. There's that weird temple and stuff. But this is the notorious island Jeffrey Epstein invited guests to, and that is why you hear people talk about flight logs all the time. Because he just flew people to the island.
Yeah. And, Virgin Islands are not real close to the United States.
No.
mean, they're off the coast of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, fun
So
fact. Fun fact. My family almost moved to the Virgin Islands when I was like 15, and then, oh, maybe I wasn't 15. Whenever the hurricane hit, and then we were like, we're not going there.
okay, yeah. So I guess the idea is you fly into Puerto Rico and then take a charter
Yeah.
ferry or ship.
Or I think there are. I mean, you can definitely get there that way. I think they're flew in because I don't even know if it's been released of the actual flight plans, because it was either flying to Puerto Rico or you just fly to the islands, because there are airstrips there.
I
But
don't think it's big enough for an airstrip.
no, I mean this is just Jeff's Island, but
Yeah, it's like I'm looking at. I mean, the only thing that could be an airstrip is only 20 feet per inch, 125 feet long.
yeah, they probably chartered boats there, honestly.
I
Because like
mean,
you can see the docks and all that stuff too.
yeah.
But
Big
I'll
St.
search.
What about
I'll
Big
s-
St. James? Don't see nothing on Big St. James either.
But yeah, and
Yeah, they
charter in.
probably flew into Puerto Rico
Mm,
and then took they probably flew into St. Thomas.
yeah, St. Thomas, like the actual Virgin Islands.
Yes.
Um, and then they chartered there. And that's why everyone wants to know who was on Jeff's plane. Everybody on Jeff's plane was the suspect of somebody who participated in the sex crimes with Epstein. And I mean, the whole world was just wondering who was it, right?
Yeah.
Who was on this island, because this island was operating for a good decades, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I like me and Josh said at the beginning of the episode, there's not that many people who don't want to know what elected officials, what super famous people, rulers, presidents, kings, royal family members, right? Who did these parties with Jeff Epstein where we had all these horrible, horrible things happen.
Yeah, and it's not and like you said, it is a bipartisan issue. At least in the general public.
That's important.
You don't really see a whole lot of, it's like right now the popular thing is that Trump is implicated in the file.
Yeah.
And you have people on the left, screaming, he's implicated, he's on the list and everything. And then you got normal people on the right basically saying, yeah, if he is, crucify him.
Yeah, and anybody and nobody should be defending him.
Right. And same thing, you have people on the right. Well, it's implicating notorious Democrats, and you got people on the left say, well, crucify him.
Literally, I do not care. Party lines are gone, right? Yeah. Like, send them all to prison. I could care less if it is half of the U.S. government, and I don't care.
And I actually have a video I found.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a podcast that I watched. It's called the Unsubscribed Podcast.
Shout out. Yeah.
Great people. They Brandon Herrera. I don't know if you know who Brandon Herrera is.
I'm not super familiar.
He is the AK guy on YouTube. He's a gun tuber.
Okay.
But also ran for one of Texas's congressional seats to the U.S. Congress. And lost to an incumbent by 411 votes.
Ooh, man.
As a YouTuber, got outspent $10 to 1 and almost beat the guy.
I love that.
His view on this is exactly my view.
Okay, let's see.
Let me say this one. Yeah. There we go. Let me know if you got audio.
From the information that both public and not, I think that they're trying to protect certain people.
I think both sides of the political spectrum are on it.
Not only that, but also there's a lot of other stuff that I think they're trying to protect. It's not really politically expedient.
I think intelligence agencies are involved, and they were running the whole thing.
That's kind of what I'm getting at too. And
one,
here's
Brandon?
my thing. I don't give a who's on it.
Yes.
If there's Republicans on it, hang them. If they were doing that sort of shit, go for it. Democrats, Republicans, whoever. My loyalty doesn't lie with a party. If you were guilty of doing heinous shit to children, you should be hanged.
Yes.
Period.
100.
End of story. It should be televised on pay-per-view. I don't care who's on the
I like that
list or
idea.
client thing, whatever whoever they are needs to be publicized, and they need to be dealt with accordingly, no matter what country they're from, what side of the political spectrum, anything.
We can get JD to get us Chippy out and fired up.
I'll donate the wood chipper.
Oh. Let's do it.
From the information.
I'll donate the wood chipper. Yeah.
I love these guys. They're
I love your Twitter feed.
Yes.
So much. But yeah, no. And yeah, I mean, nobody, and I'm going to put it like this, Josh. I mean, anybody who dares to draw a line, right, with the Epstein list, like, yeah, I'm not letting you around my kids.
right.
You know, I'm not. Like, that's a crime where I draw the line. Like, put the iron verdict on their ass. You know what I mean?
But I will say, as you know, we have previously stated, with me being right leaning in my political views, I did vote for Trump.
Mhm.
I will tell you that his handling of it right now, I am not happy with.
I don't know many people who are.
Because that was part of his campaign.
Yeah. I mean,
releasing this information, and
that was a big part of his campaign.
yes, and he spoke of it during his campaign like he knew about it,
Mhm.
Which would make sense because all this happened in his first term.
Yeah, which a lot of people look over.
Right. You know, he made comments that Bill Clinton had visited the island 28 times.
Yeah.
And that's a very specific number.
It really is.
And then he turns around in this term and says there is no list, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
And-
well, if there's no list, so either there is a list and he's lying to us, or he's just full of shit.
Yeah, and I mean, like, here, this is what I see a lot of people pulling up right now.
Yeah.
Like this specific photo too, and there's a lot of them, and that's why people are so kind of angry at this administration. I mean, me included. You know what I mean? Because he was friendly with Jeff Epstein,
Sure.
right? And I mean, Mark Epstein, his brother, has talked about it on flights before, right? How him and them were good friends. And yeah.
I won't, like I said, I've said this before also, I am not going to apologize for Trump. But also, knowing and befriending a criminal doesn't make you a criminal, right?
Yep.
And this isn't to say that I think he's innocent, because I just don't know. Now, if you are if you know he's a criminal doing bad things and you're not doing anything about it, you know, yeah, then we got problems.
Yeah, this isn't the same thing as knowing your friend steals Red Bull from Walmart. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's multiple factors.
Yeah.
Higher.
And I mean, people have done a deep dive on Trump since this whole "there's no list" thing, right?
Mhm.
And it's because, like Josh was saying, he campaigned on this hard. Like almost at every rally, he brought up Epstein's list, right? And he goes, "We're going to release that list because you guys deserve it," right? And I was like, okay, sure. And like, I voted for Kamala Harris, either, like, anyway, you know what I mean? But I was like, okay, cool. At least going into this administration, right? And I feel like anytime your candidate loses, you kind of look to, well, what's something positive that can come out of this administration? You know what I mean? And that was mine. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, maybe we'll actually see an Epstein list.
Yeah. And I guess my biggest disappointment with this is basically the same thing that happened with COVID.
Mhm.
It's like, why lie?
Yeah.
Because I'm convinced the government lied to us about COVID.
Okay.
That we can do a whole nother episode on that.
Mhm.
At the very least, during that situation, they treated the general public like children. Like we
Yeah.
couldn't handle the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And in this same situation, it's like, yes, I understand if you come out and say you knew Jeffrey Epstein, it makes you look bad.
Yeah, it's bad for
But
politics.
but at this point, why lie about it?
Yeah, and I
You
mean,
know,
like,
be truthful.
Yeah.
If you have nothing to hide, be truthful. And I think the general public, regardless of side, will see, will at least respect that truth.
yeah, and I mean, like, I understand, and like exactly the same thing, because like we had a bunch of things going on, like we had like even during Trump's like the very early days of his administration. I know we're pretty much still there, right?
Yeah, it's only been 6 months,
Yeah, and I have an aneurysm
6.5 months. Yeah.
every day, but like like during his like beginning of the administration, we saw him like still campaigning on this, like even
Yeah.
after he was elected, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, maybe this will actually happen. You know what I mean? And who actually knows, right? Because, and here's an image I'll pull up too, just so everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about. Is we saw this. That's a horrible. It's kind of blurry, but on those
Yeah.
binders they're holding up, it goes the Epstein Files.
Yeah.
Right.
Part 1 or something like that.
Yeah, and we saw that start coming out of the White House, and I was
Mhm.
like, okay, cool. At least they're doing something that isn't like actually killing me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then we also had Pam Bondi, right? And Pam Bondi was like in February, she was on an interview with Fox, and this is this year, 2025. For any viewers who might be watching this at a later date, Pam Bondi says, and I quote, "The files are on my desk awaiting my review."
Yep.
And now the current message coming from the White House is, well, there's no list.
Yeah. She said something to the matter of, there is no list and there's nothing in the files that warrants, deeper investigation. Like there's no incriminating.
Mhm.
No, there is no incriminating list in the
Mhm.
files.
Yeah, and
And
Mhm.
the wording she used, it seemed a little cryptic to me.
Oh, it was like it was written down.
Yeah. Almost like they were playing word games.
Yeah.
Because everybody is focused on the word list.
Yes.
Like they think there's a spreadsheet
Mhm.
with name, phone number, email address,
These
dates and
people fuck
everything.
with
Right.
kids on Jeff's Island, right?
Right. Yeah. And I don't think it's that cut and dry.
Mm,
I think
agree.
it's more, there are flight logs because you have to have flight logs of who
Correct.
went, right? But there was somebody, I can't remember who it was, said, he's never seen a criminal keep a journal of all the bad people he dealt with.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't do that, but there would be correspondence, there would be evidence there of people who interacted with Jeffrey,
Yeah.
right? And so I think we use the word list so we can visually understand this information, right?
Yeah. I
That
mean,
they
yeah.
can take all this information and create a list with it. Now,
Mhm.
there is another explanation that I have that we can get into a little bit later, but it kind of goes down a conspiracy hole.
Okay. Like I mean, personally, if you ask me, and I feel like this is like the most like honest and probably thing, is this whole list, right? Is probably a combination of all sorts of files they got off the island mixed with the flight logs and stuff like that. And like I understand the whole waiting for my review because they have to look over everything, right?
Sure.
And to be careful who they're releasing. And I respect that, and that's the way it should be. And we shouldn't gung ho this.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of people were saying, because there for a while, the White House was mentioning nothing about the list, right?
Yeah.
And then the FBI report that got dropped started sparking it all up again. And what I personally think is like when we had like Pam Bondi does not have the direct power to say we're not doing this anymore. She was told what to do because she's not as powerful as the president of the United States. She can't just veto something and say we're not going to pursue this anymore.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she works for the president.
Yeah, she serves the pleasure of the president, and like me and Josh said, that they're not releasing anything to us, so we all have to draw our own conclusions, right? And it looks like either Trump or his administration, his cabinet, everybody else was just like, we're not going to talk about this list, right?
Yeah.
And then Trump had that interview where a reporter was like, what's up with Epstein? He's like, we're still talking about Epstein? This guy. Like,
yeah, that was right after the massive floods down in Texas.
Mhm.
And that's really what that little impromptu press conference was about, was the devastation there, and just somebody asked about it.
But like,
so it's like, yeah, I can understand kind of his sentiment, like, we're kind of dealing with this right now. But at the same time, it's just another instance of him blowing off this thing that he campaigned on.
Yeah. And I mean, like if the viewers and you too, Josh, know I don't like Trump, right? I'm not that big a fan of him. And like anybody who runs for president never keeps all their campaign promises. Trump is famous for it, right? You know what I mean? And this is just another example of just campaigning on something to get people involved and vote for you, and then just sweeping it under the rug.
Yeah. So my personal view on it is like on the list, as far as if we want to move into like who's implicated, right? Nobody knows nobody in the general public knows who's implicated. I'm convinced that the FBI knows, the CIA knows, the DOJ knows, the president knows, right?
Yeah.
Including the former President Biden. He knows.
Yeah, and that's something else a lot of people talk about is why didn't Biden release the list? And that's a great question.
Yeah. But I think, honestly, there are so many people that are implicated on it that if it were to be released, and again, don't take this as an excuse for not doing it, that I think it could cause so much devastation. You got high-powered political figures, celebrities, just places where all the power and money are in the world. Yeah. And if those people suddenly just basically disappear, financial institutions collapse, governments collapse, and it can cause worldwide panic.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I'm not saying to use that as an excuse for not doing it, but I think there's a way to do it to prevent that stuff from happening.
No. And so and what I also feel on that, Josh, is like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. Yeah. I don't care who's on it.
Exactly. And it's kind of, in my opinion, it's like, if like, let's say almost everybody in the U.S. government, like the most powerful people in the U.S. government are on it, right? Cool. They're gone. We'll replace them.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, because we have, written in our Constitution, we have backup plans.
Yeah.
For this kind of thing. Now, it could get really messy, though, if, because what it's like, say Trump is implicated, right? Presidency goes to J.D. Vance, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't think Vance is involved with this in any way, shape, or form, other than what's currently going on, right?
Like, I
personally,
there's a solid chance that he's been read in on the list.
Sure.
And he might just know.
Right.
But he's a VP. You know what I mean?
But say like he was implicated.
Mhm.
Okay, then succession goes to Speaker of the
Johnson.
House,
Yeah, Mike
right?
Johnson.
And say he's implicated,
Yeah.
right?
We just go down the entire list.
But there
right?
is a point where that list stops.
Yeah.
Right. And it's one of those things like, what if all those people are implicated?
Mhm.
And I guess Congress would have to
Elect
I
a
think
new
at that
president.
point, that's actually what it is. Like, if it comes down to that point, it is up to Congress. Like, the House of Representatives will elect somebody, and it has to be approved by the Senate. Don't quote me on this, but I'm sure there's something to that effect that would happen.
Yeah.
But I can't speak for other countries. What would happen
Yeah. Well, because
with other countries.
I'm not trying to put the wrong person on blast here. Was it Prince Charles?
No, not Prince Charles. His
Wasn't
brother,
Charles.
Edward.
Yes,
Prince
I
Edward.
think.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll fact check it real quick too. Um,
He's really the only person that's been named.
and the reason why I say that is because I'm not trying to put like the wrong person on blast here.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Okay, documents for Prince Andrew.
Andrew.
Andrew. Okay. Documents unsealed in early 2024 related to the Jeffrey Epstein network have shown that Prince Andrew, Dork of York and son of Queen Elizabeth II, was named multiple times in the documents, including testimony alleging that Prince Andrew had sexual contact with a minor trafficked by Epstein. And we saw that get released too.
Yeah, and nothing happened.
Nothing. Yeah, no. It's really hard to touch the royals over there.
Yeah.
But so continue on the timeline before we move on. Something that just happened this week is Maxwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maxwell got moved to a Texas prison camp this week after Trump sent his personal lawyers to go talk to her.
Yeah, she got moved to a federal prison in Texas, lower security federal prison,
which is like unheard of for child sex predators.
Right.
Unheard of, because it is a country club prison. We all know we all know like that meaning, right? Like, it's still a prison, but it's not a prison, it's where you can serve your time and just relax.
Yeah. And this brings up a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
The biggest one that I've been hearing is, he's trying to give her kind of a sweetheart deal, all the way up to even pardoning her.
Yeah.
To keep his name out of her mouth, type of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it could also just be, lower security prison. Maybe less can happen to her.
Yeah, or more.
Type of a thing. Or more.
Yeah.
But with it, Texas is traditionally conservative.
Big fans of Trump because the whole gerrymandering thing right now too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe he sees that prison as more of an ally. Like, maybe he is trying to protect her.
Right.
Because
and then the
maybe
question
he's
gets
like,
raised.
yeah, and maybe he sees the writing on the wall that there's really nothing he can do to keep at least some of this information from coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And if the information gets out, somebody might try to, like some people think, unalive her.
Yep.
Like they did with Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can put her in a prison, if you can put her in a prison that you trust, maybe they'll protect him. Or it could be, like you said, maybe if he doesn't want her around anymore, it's a prison you can trust.
Yeah. And like we said, it is ridiculous the amount of information that's not given to us.
Yeah.
Like, because the American people want answers, and our government that we elected to give us those answers won't. And I understand government keeping secrets, but this isn't something that'll set off a nuke, right? This is something about people protecting themselves, right? And I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, Josh. There is like the left leaning, like there is that side of me, right? That sees probably almost the same perspective, but a different perspective, right? Because in my eyes, it all looks really bad because we have Trump who elected this cabinet, appointed Kash Patel, right?
Mhm.
FBI director, all super hard loyalists. Go check out the other episode where we talked
Yeah,
about Trump
and
Wiggins. Yeah.
yeah, and Kash Patel, that was one thing he said. If I'm confirmed, that will be job number one.
Yeah. And let me see if I can pull it up. But I mean, you saw the interview. Like, dude looked horrified.
Oh yeah, with him and Dan Bongino.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked like a hostage situation.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't find it. But
Keep talking. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah. But like it looked like that. And so like from like my perspective, it looks like this does implicate him, right? And it couldn't, you know what I mean? But it definitely is starting to look like it's implicating this administration in some sort of way, right?
Mhm.
Because the DOJ told, and it got released by, I think it was the Associated Press, that Trump's name was mentioned in the Epstein Files, which obviously it is because he was super good friends with Jeff. You know what I mean? Like he's obviously flown on his plane. That's not news to me, right?
Right.
But we have him electing all these like loyalists and stuff like that, and then this happens, and it's like, well, yeah, obviously nobody in his cabinet is speaking out against him. That's why he chose them, you know? And it just looks really bad. And I think a lot of people see it that way. And I mean, obviously, people are now during this administration, right? Obviously, people are drawing parallels to everything Trump said, Trump's done, right? That could
Mhm.
potentially indicate him, right? And then, of course, we have people who I wouldn't say are protecting him, but almost protecting him, who are like, why wasn't this released under Biden's administration, right? Yeah, my answer as somebody who voted for Kamala Harris, right, and is a registered Democrat is, yeah, I'm curious to why, and it could have been the FBI was still doing their investigation, right, because we know the investigation came to close this year, and we got all of that out of it. But overall, I think the American people just kind of want answers to what's going on here, and it's become bigger than it ever has because they're trying to sweep it under the rug.
Right.
Yeah. Did you have any luck finding Cash in that interview? I could not. But ladies and gentlemen, if you watch that interview, you'll see what me and Josh are talking about.
I think is it this one? This little 30-second clip about them talking about the alleged suicide. So let me bring this up. You can kind of get a sense of what we're talking about. You just look at their eyes. They look like they're being held hostage. All right, here we go.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to do their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one.
Look at Dan there.
Oh my God, yeah.
There is nothing in those eyes.
Again, you want me
No,
to?
it's either nothing or it's fear.
He killed himself.
Yeah.
You said.
Yeah.
I mean,
and even Cash, she's trying to hold it together.
Yeah,
but I mean, look at him. Look at him.
Look at his eyes.
He's like, get me
Right?
out of here. I don't want to be doing this.
Which direction is he looking? Down.
What's he looking at?
Well, down into his right.
Yeah, and as
Right?
a speech coach, that shows me you are not confident in what you are saying
No.
whatsoever.
Have you ever heard the term downright liar? You're a downright liar.
That is what that means.
This is where it comes from.
Mhm.
because when you don't speak the truth, your body has a tendency to do things like this. And one of them is to look down and to the right, because
Mhm.
you can't look the person in the eyes and
Mhm.
lie.
No.
So yeah, I mean, take that for what you will.
Yeah. I mean, take it for what you will. Conclude your own opinions and let us know.
Yes.
But man, and like I was just saying, I mean, obviously it would have been a massive deal if they actually just released the files, right?
Yeah.
But now it's almost worse because they aren't.
Yeah, it's definitely worse.
Yeah.
And now it's like he looks even worse because, you know, now they're talking about, okay, yeah, well, we got to look through them again and make sure nothing bad, bad
Yeah.
is gets released. And I say, okay, so there is stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
So
you 2 weeks ago you said there wasn't anything,
mhm.
and now there is. So he's it's a losing battle at this point.
It is.
And the only way he can win is by disclosure.
Yeah. I mean, or just honestly coming out about it. If he is on it, just
Sure.
say it, right? Because why aren't you? And I mean, lots of people have spoken out about it. Like powerful people. I've seen celebrities and do it, but like the biggest name I think I've possibly seen speak out about it was probably this guy. Elmo.
Is this real, or did his
This is
hacked
real.
again?
Somebody hacked the Elmo account.
Well, I know, like a couple weeks ago, somebody hacked it.
Yeah, and this
But-
was a tweet.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah, right. Like even Elmo is reaching out. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they're canceling BBS and all that stuff. So I'm sure that's feeding into it. But
Yeah,
like,
that could be another episode too. I've got
Yeah.
thoughts on that.
yeah, because overall, like to tie everything in, because I know me and Josh have spat a lot of information at you guys.
Hmm.
Is we have Jeffrey Epstein, who has been recorded and under investigation since 2005, right? On file under investigation for sex crimes against minors. And we nailed him, right? He was taken off the streets. He killed himself. And now this list that Trump campaigned on releasing does not exist.
Yep.
And it's causing an outrage.
Yeah. So, you mind if I get a little conspiracy at this point?
Sure. Let's pop into it.
All right, since we're getting into like the last few minutes for tonight. So you talk about this list, right?
Yeah.
So the other option that I propose, and I've heard other people talk about it as well,
Mhm.
is the list. There actually is a list.
Yeah. Okay.
But it is not a list that is composed by Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell.
Okay.
I think it's plausible
Okay.
that he could have been wittingly or unwittingly an asset for some intelligence agency.
Okay. I've heard a lot. I think I've heard this before.
Just because of the business he was in, right?
Yes. Because he was a financier.
He was a financier, plus the whole sex crimes against children thing, which was a worldwide, allegedly a worldwide operation.
Yeah.
So you're going to have intelligence agencies from around the world looking at this guy.
Okay.
So biggest intelligence agency we have is the CIA.
Correct. Yeah.
So the thing I think could be plausible is that this list that we keep hearing about is actually a list created by these intelligence agencies.
Like for blackmail?
Blackmail or investigation, just for whatever reason. These are the known people who have associated with Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay.
And for whatever reason or not, it could be, if they were just looking at a finance thing, okay, say, yeah, Trump hung out with him. Okay, let's look into Trump, right? Do we see money or anything moving in weird ways, to him or Clinton or Prince Andrew, just all these different people that they could be using this information, I think that could be possible.
Yeah. I mean, let me go out a limb here.
Sure.
And just say, because of how much has been censored, there's almost nothing I'm willing to hear. Like there are obviously things that I'm like, well, that just didn't happen. You know what I mean? But almost everything's on the table. And I've heard this conspiracy theory, Josh. And as of lately, with the Israel Gaza thing going on, check out last episode. That was a great one. I've heard a lot about Mossad.
Yes.
Involved with it too. And I don't think there's ever been any hard proof. You know what I mean? There's always been that guy with all the red lines, the yarn, stringing it together. So there's nothing that I truly believe. To be clear here, I don't necessarily believe anything, but I've seen them. I've seen the people link it to Mossad and say he was an Israeli asset and stuff like that. And these conspiracy theories are literally being born because the U.S. federal government is lying.
Yeah. And that's what happens when you say something exists or people can see that something exists and the powers that be say that thing does not exist. Well, people are going to create their own story of what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's just the way people are. I mean, you can go back to, Roswell.
Yeah.
I mean, something happened there.
Yes, something happened for sure.
And because the government just put a lid on it, people now think that little green men crashed in the desert, and that's where we got all of our technology from. So yeah, I mean, anytime the government is not truthful, conspiracy is going to run rampant.
Yeah. And it's literally just this stuff, right?
Right.
And it's because we have all this going on that we have these people connecting dots that might or might not exist.
Right. Let's see. So you're talking about the Epstein Mossad link.
Mm-hmm.
There, got it. Stop playing. Here is a former U.S. intelligence operative who says that's true. I don't know if I want to. That one's 7 minutes long. I don't know if we got that much time. Okay, this one's a minute 45. We can do this one. That's share. All right. So it said when a full-blown Mossad agent, Ari Ben Manash, who worked closely with Mossad super agents.
Firstly, let's talk about this truth teller Russian flag. Definitely conspiracy.
Right. Yeah.
Theory.
Definitely conspiracy.
Yeah.
But says that Epstein worked for Israel and carried out a honeypot operation to blackmail U.S. politicians.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about. These lists. That's where the list is actually a intelligence agency creation. So this is an interview by Going Underground.
Mm.
So let's just hear what this guy's got to say.
Of course, it's a book that came out some years ago. Now, Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell, there are reports she's in Paris. You maintain that it was
This
your
guy's British, so it
employer,
must be
Robert
true.
Maxwell, owner of the Daily Mirror.
Yeah.
You say that he was an Israeli agent, and as was his daughter.
He was not my employer. I would like to correct that.
Okay.
We worked together with him.
And you say that his daughter Ghislaine also, though, worked for Israel, and it was Robert Maxwell who introduced Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell way before the 1990s, as mainstream media is reporting.
Correct. Mr. Epstein was introduced to Ms. Maxwell probably sometime in the 80s. And Mr. Maxwell also thought he might be introducing a fellow to date his daughter. He tried to do a favor to his daughter, to find her a shidduch, as they say in Hebrew, a match.
Okay, and that didn't really quite work out. I suppose what the most alarming allegations that you've been making
This
are
dude got like a ledger in his hand.
the
I
entire
know.
Epstein
I should get
operation
one.
was a honey trap operation to entrap politicians, policymakers,
I don't think it's
celebrities,
in that book.
people in the media eye, basically to become Israel's assets.
Correct. That it became basically an intelligence operation to entrap different politicians around the world.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the main one I've been seeing when you talk about like,
Yeah.
you know, all that shenanigans that were going on with like intelligence agencies around the
Yes.
world.
So again, I did not verify that video. So there,
Straight up could be wrong.
right, could be wrong, could be true, but those are the things that circulate that
Mhm.
you know, people are like, well, okay, they're not telling us what's going on, so yeah, this could make sense.
Well, let's listen to this British guy.
Yeah.
You know, and conspiracy theories are harmful, right? Most of them are, but some of them aren't, right? And we have to, as the American people, and honestly, I've been saying American people, this is worldwide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have to draw our own lines and our own conclusions. And most of what we're drawing is this stinks of a big old cover up by the US government. Yeah.
Definitely. It definitely is a cover up.
Oh, yeah, because either way it's bad. Either
Yeah.
you just straight up lied and there wasn't a list to get into the White House, or you're covering up your friend who is a convicted child predator. Like,
yeah, it's definitely a cover up. The question is just, what are they covering up?
exactly. Oh, man. This list
Yeah.
gives me a headache.
It's not going to go away.
No, and just to be clear, I urge anybody who's watching, don't let it go away.
Yeah.
Bring it up. Tweet about it, right? Shout it out at rallies. You know what I mean? Do not let people sweep it under the rug.
Yeah. If at the very least, just as a way, you know, yeah, we don't want these things to happen to children.
No.
But at the same time, don't let it go away in order to keep those serving you accountable.
Yeah. I mean, I like I said, and the list goes on and on. It could involve everybody, right? Anybody, congressmen, senators, presidents, right?
Yeah. Musicians,
Everybody.
actors, actresses, royalty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is a
Bob
deep,
from
deep hole.
accounting.
Yeah. I mean, everybody.
Yep.
And me and Josh have been wanting to do this episode for a while, specifically since I remember, because I remember I came out to you after taking a break at work, and I was like, hey, did you see what the FBI just released? And you're like, yeah, we got to talk about this on Generational Hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it might be something we come back on later.
Yeah, because this is a story that's going to keep going on.
Yep. This is one current event that I think we should keep up on. along with, I mean, the other ones that we've talked about, Israel, Gaza,
Mhm.
Ukraine, Russia.
Yeah. When enough stuff starts happening,
Yeah.
you can catch us back for a second episode because
Definitely.
me and Josh, we like to talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
About these things, not specifically, but we do enjoy talking about these things.
Oh, for sure. But man, I think we pretty much covered what's up
Yeah,
today with the Epstein list.
We're at that hour.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody for dropping in.
Yeah. And remember, guys, check out all the socials, push this on the algorithm. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Anything you want to say to him, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, just keep listening, keep talking. I'm gonna leave you with this little nugget.
Is this a Gilligan's Island meme?
Yes.
Oh man, that's great.
So keep the conversation going, guys.
Keep it
Don't
going.
ever stop talking. Disagreement is okay, but be civil about it.
100%.
There's no reason to get upset. Love your neighbors. It's okay to disagree with them, but you got to love them.
100%.
So until next time, I guess Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night.
All right. And stay tuned to the socials. We'll let you guys know what we're talking about.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys. Uh-oh. I messed up. There we go.
There we go.
See you later, guys.